In our Sunrise Smart Start, News 8 is your local election headquarters. The first ballots have been cast to help decide who will be New York's next governor and represent the greater Rochester area in Albany and Washington, D.C.
Jatira Marsh joins us live in the studio with reaction from early voters and workers at the polls about the turnout and about their expectations. Jatira, we are 2 days in, starting day 3 today.
That's right, just right around the corner. And some poll locations had lines out the door when they opened on Saturday. This left some location officials stunned to see what they consider huge turnouts for day one, but they were able to handle it. Early voting stretches on for 9 days at 14 locations across Monroe County. The polls are open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., except on Tuesdays and Thursdays when it's 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. In her 40 years of working elections, Kathleen Best says she has not seen early voting take off as fast as this, keeping her team on their feet throughout the day since they opened with a line out the door.
Absolutely flabbergasted. We did not expect anything. In fact, we were kind of joking early on before we opened that if we had long lines or we're very busy, what were we going to do? We just thought it was not going to happen.
If you are unsure about where your poll location is, you can find out by going to monroecounty.gov/elections and find the right address and hours of operation. You do not have to apply ahead of time to vote early. Casey, Amel?
Jatira, thank you. And we, of course, have more voting information available for you on our website. As a reminder, that is rochesterfirst.com. Happening today, it's Halloween. And in case you've been wondering how to celebrate other than traditional trick-or-treating, of course, we've got you covered.
Starting at 4 tonight, you can attend a trunk or treat at the Tops on West Avenue in Rochester. This ends at 7. If that's not quite your style, that's okay. At 5 tonight in the Walgreens parking lot across from People's Choice Kitchen in Rochester, there will be free candy, gift certificates, toys, and more given out to kids and parents, courtesy of the Rochester Police Department, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, and several local businesses. Let's check in now with meteorologist James Gilbert. James, I think Casey and I this whole morning we've been trying to mimic the mummy dancing behind you.
Is that the Monster Mash? Is
That's
that what
we're? Yeah, right. You love that?
We're giving away too much this morning. But
So good.
Well, you just had too much candy, so just burning it out.
You gotta burn it off.
Those calories off. Yes, exactly. Dancing Mummy is watching out for those showers, an isolated shower possible by 3 o'clock this afternoon. Those temperatures, though, not half bad. We're in the 60s by the afternoon, slowly dropping into the 50s tonight, patchy showers, and we don't get any cooler than that, staying in the 50s. A mild 8-day forecast. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. Amel?
All right, James, thank you. Taking a look at the roads this morning, things are looking pretty good out there. We have had a few accidents to report, but nothing active as of right now. 390, 490, 590 are moving on time. If anything changes, though, we do have updates for you throughout the morning.
All right, 6:51 on this Monday morning, and still developing from over the weekend. Saturday morning, before the first pitch was thrown, Little League players, parents, and others gathered around a flagpole at Bob Ford Fields in Pittsford for a very special ceremony.
There, they unveiled a plaque in honor of Dane LeClaire, who died 3 years ago. Boy Scout Troop 341 was there to raise the flag, partly because it was through the Boy Scouts Dane, an Eagle Scout, built a fence at the facility. It was also here he umped for a number of seasons. Dane was remembered as a cheerful and energetic young man whose memory will hopefully inspire kids who take notice of this memorial.
The man accused of murdering Lamar Brandon Cassavoy was arraigned Saturday. Kenneth Scott is charged with second-degree murder and criminal possession of a weapon in the second and third degrees. The shooting happened on Mazda Terrace back in September. On the night of the shooting, state police were in the area and they tried to save Cassavoy's life, but he died at the scene. Investigators say Scott and Cassavoy were in a verbal argument and it escalated.
And police are continuing to investigate a homicide that happened on Murray Street in Newark a little after 2 Saturday morning. Newark police say when they arrived, they found a man suffering from an apparent gunshot wound to the chest. He was taken to Newark Wayne Community Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Anyone with information is asked to call New York State Police in Canandaigua.
Developing internationally this morning, South Koreans are in mourning and some still searching for relatives after a stampede at a huge Halloween party. At least 150 people were killed when the crowd surged into a narrow alley in Seoul. It's not clear what led to that surge Saturday night. Witnesses say people fell onto one another like dominoes. Authorities are promising a thorough investigation. The Ministry of the Interior and Safety says the death count is expected to rise because more than 30 of the victims who survived were left seriously hurt.
Back at home, nonprofit Guardians of Hope hosted a packing party in Spencerport for their boxes of hope they'll be sending to Ukraine.
The boxes are filled with essential and practical items for Ukrainians, as well as some fun things for the kids. Guardians of Hope says folks from all over Rochester donated to make this project possible. The Moskovich family started packing boxes of hope 13 years ago, and they say the project has really grown since then.
The Boxes of Hope, the way it started was for the past 13 years, our family has been just packing boxes to send out to children in need in other countries. And it's just been growing from 50 boxes to 100 boxes, 300 boxes, 500 boxes, 600 boxes, and just we're all the way up to today 2,600 boxes.
The Boxes for Hope crew had more than 100 volunteers working their event over the weekend. Great job, guys. All right, here's what some folks might be talking about at the water cooler this morning. Yeah, just a few of you. The Bills were back after a bye week, shining brighter than ever. It was a tense game last night. Packers at the Bills, but the Bills took home the win, 27-17 in the end. Just a few highlights. Josh Allen started the game off by throwing a touchdown to Dawson Knox, his second game with a score in a row. Stephon Diggs had himself a monster game, more than 100 receiving yards for him, a touchdown in the second quarter, and a game filled with plenty of smack talk.
And it wasn't about the candy that they were going to have.
It was not about
I don't think that was the theme, but you know what? If you want to talk some candy smack talk, I can throw down.
Yeah. The Bills had their own Halloween party I saw on social media.
Did they really?
They did. They were all dressed up. I can't name what any of them were, but I did see it. It did happen.
I hope none of them dressed up as football players.
That would be cheating.
No. Right. I think we're going to see a lot of good costumes. Getting on the bus stop today, always fun to see that, what everybody dresses up with at school. 40s to 60s today. And then we do have those rain showers in the forecast. Watch those pop up from west to east as we get through the afternoon. But the good news is there's a lot of dry time. Don't think it's a washout of a day. Shouldn't stop you from trick-or-treating. You might just want to have that umbrella handy with you. And then this 8-day does not look like the beginning of November. These numbers, man, I don't even have any day in the 30s for overnight lows. We're well into the 40s and 50s, and then, yep, couple of days that near 70 degrees. Get ready for a warm spell to start November.
Better to need an umbrella than a heavy coat tonight.
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you so much for watching News 8 at Sunrise, and be safe out there for Halloween.
Our next update coming up in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings is up next. Have a great start to your week, everybody.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.